talked to Wes Durham earlier about Haynes King. Steve Adazio talked about him. He had him at Texas A&M when he was on the staff there a few years ago. And you can hear both conversations, again, at the Fan app and 680thefan.com. Haynes King running the ball effectively, second in the ACC in rushing yards per game, 95. The only other quarterback in the country averaging more per game is a guy that plays for Navy, Blake Horvath. Now, the problem is, can he sustain this? He's going to have to get help in the backfield. For all of it, though, he's only got one interception, only 2 all of last year, and he's 15 for 24 on third downs. He's 11 for 17 on third and long. So you would think that's going to take its toll, and maybe it will if he has to keep running with the football over the course of the season. But so far, it's benefited Haynes King throwing the ball when he needs to throw the ball. They've also allowed the fewest number of sacks in the ACC. So when you have success like this, what happens? People start mentioning your coach. I like what you said to Wes Durham. You say 10 out of 10, Kirby's not going to coach in another college. You're headed that way. It's trending that way with Brent Key.
But it's not there
yet.
No,
it seems like he's got everybody around him, the administration. It seems like the AD, the new AD, everybody's on the same page. And he's a tech guy. I don't want to be naive, but I don't think he's going anyplace. But when you win like this, your name starts getting mentioned. This is Zach Gelb from CBS talking about possible replacements for James Franklin at Penn State.
I just think James has reached his apex in Happy Valley. But instead of just saying, hey, I'm Zach Gelb, I think James Franklin should be fired, I think you also have to come with some names. So, I was sitting down last night and I was thinking to myself, who could replace him? And I thought about a Curt Cignetti. I thought about a Kenny Dillingham, John Sumrall, Brent Key, just some names of some active coaches that I think are realistic for them to get. And then maybe even the Georgia defensive coordinator, Glenn Schumann, if you want to go with the coach that doesn't have head coaching experience, that's a young hotshot coordinator.
Now, I think Buster Faulkner is going to get a head coaching job before Brent Key leaves any place. And Cignetti, we talked to Todd Blackledge about him a couple of days ago. Yet another interview you could hear at the Fan app and 680thefan.com. He's a Pittsburgh guy. He's got that swagger, that Pennsylvania swagger. I don't know what his buyout is, but I would think that the Penn State crowd would love a guy from the state of Pennsylvania that wins.
Agreed.
In Curt Cignetti. That seems to me, if you're going to go after somebody that has a job right now, Cignetti seems to make the most sense.
Is he older than you would like? Maybe. Is he villainous enough and doing enough where he's captured the attention of people who would go, he's not James Franklin and we want something that's not James Franklin? Yeah. You go the opposite, or at least you veer away from the... But I think Franklin is $50 million. And, Matt, if you can look real quick, I thought Indiana put like a poison pill in. I think there's a poison pill, pretty big amount. Now, Penn State, whether they could raise it or not, whether they want to raise it or not, I don't really know.
Whether they're even going to make the move to replace James Franklin. I mean, who knows if that's even going to happen. They're also paying James Knowles a lot of money, the defensive coordinator. He did a great job last week for all the money you're paying him.
Can I make an analogy?
Made some great on-the-fly adjustments against UCLA.
I'm not saying $50 million isn't a lot of money. But if you're not buying out James Franklin because you think, A, nobody could be better than him, he wins enough games, that's fine. If it's the money, shame on you. Because this is the Aaron Boone syndrome in New York. Everybody who told me, oh, Aaron Boone, he got to the postseason, he's safe. Is he? Is he? Because it's like James Franklin. There's a certain point where I go, no, that ain't good enough. And my fan base voting with my wallet, and, we said something to Alex Anthopoulos or about it. You don't want to do something to just appease the fans, but you have to do something different because people aren't buying what you're selling quite as much anymore. That's the difference in getting a Cignetti in. He's different than Franklin, and it proves that you were willing to buy out the guy who you, not me, I kind of do, but you deemed a loser.
I win. Google me.
Aaron Boone.
That's Curt Cignetti. They would love a guy like that at Penn State. Love him.
I came here for one reason, to win national championships.
I came here to chew bubble gum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubble gum. You pulled a Roddy Piper.
Well, no. Chewing bubble gum is Aaron Boone. I told you the best thing he does as a manager is blow bubbles.
But that was my segue into one-time Tech defensive lineman and current WWE superstar Roman Reigns having this to say about his school, Georgia Tech.
If you want to play good football, if you want to be successful in life, if you want to be a part of something after football quits you, because it quits all of us, unless you're fortunate enough to keep talking about it after you're done, and you want to be a part of this Georgia Tech community. You want to be a part of this Georgia Tech fraternity. We're winners, man. And I want to say at least 25 to 30% of us are easy millionaires. So that's something we've been doing before before the social media game, before there became all these different avenues to create revenue. We were at the groundwork and, starting with just geniuses, you know what I mean? Engineers just getting it done. And the ones who aren't engineers, we're taught how to run them, you know what I'm saying? We're taught how to employ them and manage them in one of the greatest markets of Atlanta. So if you're not buying what I'm selling at this point, Georgia Tech, Atlanta, that's the place to be.
I'm not arguing with him. Spear me through a wall. You going to argue with him?
Me? No, I got no beef with the guy. 25, 30%, 68%. What the hell do I care what the number is? Now, people are saying that's a great ringing endorsement. It is, no doubt about it. Am I getting that into the hands of kids in the transfer portal or 17 and 18-year-olds? I don't know. It is another story to sell. Like, being on Pat McAfee doesn't mean that there are now 9 kids who want to go play at Georgia Tech. But it don't hurt. And we're playing in a world of social media. How many pops, how many eyes can you get on when a guy like that says something like that? He's pimping for the school in a big way. I want to go back to...
Can it be sustained? That's the biggest question that nobody has the answer to.
By the way, that's why I'm never really sold on a guy not moving, because the minute he thinks the front office, in this case the administration in college, front office and professional, if we're not on the same page, if you don't believe that you're supposed to give me what I need to win or sustain winning, then I might have to look elsewhere. Now, that could be used to get a raise, and Brent Key is lining himself up to get a raise. All you got to do is mention Penn State. There should be more money coming. Doesn't mean he's leaving, but it doesn't mean he's not. And when guys leave, it's for 2 things. Grass is greener, i.e. more money. The other part is they think they can win over there, and they're not always right. But the presentation is, we give you a better chance to win. I'll ask you, if Penn State comes around, let's say it's Penn State. Let's say there's 3 schools that come around and say, of course we give you a better chance to win. When was the last time you guys won something at Georgia Tech? Your counter could be, I play in the ACC, it's easier to win. That should be the first one. But the other one should be, that's a lot of nice talk. What are you doing to make sure? Because you just hired 5 coaches who didn't win here when you're telling me you can win here. Is he better off staying here? He's better off staying at Georgia Tech as long as Georgia Tech proves to him that this is sustainable.
In the here and now, I think everybody is on the same page at Georgia Tech. But you're right. Things change.
But my counter would be, oh, wait, it's easier to win up there? Why haven't you won a national title in how many years?
If it's that easy.
Right. Don't sell me, I understand. Don't whistle at me and tell me I don't know the tune.
I coached under Nick Saban. I've been around,